There is something critical happening inside your circulatory system right now that almost no physician will ever sit down and explain to you in detail. If you are over 50, the way you have been drinking water your entire life might be sabotaging your blood circulation by up to 80%, and I am not exaggerating. The latest vascular research reveals something that sounds completely backwards. Consuming plain H2O without specific modifications can actually impair how efficiently oxygen-rich blood reaches your extremities, your brain, and your vital organs. This is not about drinking more. This is about drinking smarter. And the gap between those two approaches is the difference between feeling exhausted by noon and reclaiming the energy you thought was gone forever. Think about this. Thousands of seniors follow hydration advice religiously. They carry water bottles everywhere. They track their intake. Yet they still suffer from icy fingers and toes, relentless fatigue, mental cloudiness, and legs that feel like lead by midday. Why? Because volume alone does not equal vascular performance. What research teams have discovered is that slight adjustments to hydration technique can trigger measurable circulation improvements in under half an hour, sometimes rivaling prescription medications designed for the exact same purpose. No pharmacy, no side effects, just evidence-based hydration science applied correctly. My name is Dr. Mehmat, and for the past 12 years I have specialized in geriatric cardiology and age-related vascular decline. What I am going to walk you through today are 5 scientifically validated methods to transform ordinary water into a circulation-enhancing tool. These are not folk remedies. These are physiological interventions backed by peer-reviewed studies, ranked from foundational to most impactful. The final method on this list is something I prescribe to nearly every patient who walks through my door complaining of sluggish blood flow, and it delivers results in under an hour. Stay until the end, because that last technique is where the real transformation happens. But before we dive into the 5 methods, you need to understand what is actually breaking down in your vascular system as you age. Without this foundation, these strategies will just seem like random tricks instead of targeted physiological interventions. Your cardiovascular system is not just a set of pipes. It is a living, responsive network. The inner lining of your blood vessels, called the endothelium, is composed of cells that actively regulate blood flow. These cells manufacture nitric oxide, a signaling molecule that tells your arteries and veins to widen and relax. When nitric oxide levels are strong, circulation flows effortlessly. Blood pressure stays controlled. Oxygen delivery to tissues remains optimal. After age 50, 3 devastating changes occur simultaneously. First, the enzyme responsible for creating nitric oxide becomes sluggish. Your vessels lose their ability to expand on demand. Blood pressure creeps upward because the vascular walls cannot soften the way they used to. Second, your blood itself becomes thicker. Red blood cells lose flexibility. They no longer squeeze through tiny capillaries as easily. This increased viscosity means your heart has to work harder to push blood to the periphery, especially your hands, feet, and brain. Third, your overall blood volume drops. Your kidneys become less efficient at conserving water. Your brain's thirst signal weakens. Many older adults live in a state of mild dehydration without ever feeling parched. Here is the trap. Plain water only addresses that third problem. It replaces lost volume, but it does absolutely nothing for nitric oxide production. It does not reduce blood thickness effectively. And when you consume large amounts without the right mineral balance, it can dilute the electrolytes that control how your vascular muscles contract and relax. The outcome? You are hydrated on paper but starved of functional circulation. The fluid is entering your system. The vascular response is not following. Let me tell you about a gentleman named Robert. Robert was 68, a former high school principal, extremely disciplined about his health. He drank 10 glasses of water daily, tracked it meticulously in an app. He came to my clinic after 18 months of unexplained symptoms that his family doctor could not resolve. His extremities were perpetually freezing, even in summer. He experienced crushing fatigue every afternoon that forced him to cancel social plans. He described a persistent mental fog that made simple tasks feel overwhelming. All his lab work came back normal. His blood pressure was acceptable. Everyone told him he was fine. When I examined his hydration protocol closely, I saw the issue immediately. He had plenty of water volume but virtually no vascular activation. His circulation was functionally stalled. We will return to Robert later because what happened after just 5 weeks on the protocol I'm about to share, particularly methods 2 and 1, left him stunned. Method number 5. Strategic temperature and timing. This sounds almost too simple, but the physiology is profound. The temperature of the water you drink and when you drink it relative to movement directly impacts how fast it enters your bloodstream and how powerfully it affects circulation. Studies on gastric absorption demonstrate that water at room temperature, around 20 to 23 degrees Celsius, is absorbed far more rapidly than ice-cold water. Cold water causes a temporary constriction reflex in your digestive tract, slowing absorption and briefly reducing blood flow to your hands and feet. For someone already battling poor circulation, this brief constriction is the last thing you need. Timing is equally critical. Consuming water, 15 to 20 minutes before any physical movement, even a gentle stroll, primes your circulatory system. When plasma volume is elevated before activity begins, your heart pumps more efficiently, your vessels dilate more readily, and peripheral blood flow improves in measurable ways. Research conducted on older adults found that drinking roughly 300 milliliters of room temperature water a quarter hour before exercise produced significantly better circulation outcomes compared to drinking the same amount during or after the activity. The application is straightforward. Stop refrigerating your water, let it sit at room temperature throughout the day, and before any planned activity, drink a full glass 15 minutes in advance. This costs you nothing and requires zero preparation. Method number 4. Electrolyte restoration. This is where we move from basic hydration to vascular optimization. When you drink large quantities of plain water, without replacing the minerals it flushes out, you dilute critical electrolytes in your bloodstream, specifically sodium, potassium, and magnesium. These are not optional nutrients. They are the electrical currency your vascular system uses to function. Potassium and magnesium directly relax blood vessel walls through the same biological pathways that expensive prescription drugs target. When these minerals drop too low because of excessive plain water intake, your vessels remain partially constricted. The endothelium becomes less responsive. Blood flow stays sluggish. This is why some seniors actually feel worse after increasing water consumption. They are diluting their mineral balance without realizing it. The fix is elegant. Add a small pinch of unrefined sea salt to every liter of water you consume. I am not talking about processed table salt. I mean authentic sea salt that retains over 80 trace minerals, including magnesium, potassium, calcium, and selenium. This is not about loading up on sodium. A tiny pinch per liter provides just enough mineral content to maintain vascular tone. Alternatively, add a wedge of fresh lime, which delivers potassium and promotes an alkaline shift that benefits endothelial health. Or mix in a splash of pure coconut water for natural potassium replenishment. A study in the Journal of Applied Physiology tracked older adults over 14 days and found that electrolyte-enhanced water produced significantly greater improvements in vascular conductance and circulation during exercise compared to plain water. The difference was not in quantity consumed, it was in mineral composition. If you have watched this far, you are clearly serious about your health. But here is the reality: most people watch valuable content and never subscribe. If this information is genuinely useful to you, hit that subscribe button right now. It takes 1 second. If you skip it, the algorithm will forget you exist and you will miss everything coming next. Your choice. Method number 3. Roselle flower infusion. Roselle, also known as Hibiscus sabdurifa, is one of the most rigorously studied natural circulation enhancers in medical literature, yet almost nobody uses it correctly. Most people brew it as a hot tea and sip it casually, but when you prepare it as a cooled infusion and consume it at room temperature, the bioavailability and speed of action change dramatically. The active phytochemicals in roselle petals, anthocyanins, and organic acids like hydroxycitric acid directly stimulate nitric oxide synthesis in your endothelial cells. This is the missing link in senior circulation. Plain water cannot trigger nitric oxide production. Roselle water can. It activates the exact pathway that prescription vasodilators attempt to replicate synthetically. A randomized controlled trial published in a nutrition journal followed pre-hypertensive adults who consumed 3 servings of roselle tea daily for 8 weeks. Systolic blood pressure dropped an average of 7 millimeters of mercury. The mechanism was confirmed as nitric oxide stimulation. A separate investigation documented acute circulation improvements within 30 minutes of ingestion. Here is the preparation method for maximum vascular benefit. Steep 4 to 5 dried roselle flowers in 500 milliliters of boiling water for 10 minutes. Let it cool completely to room temperature. Add a pinch of sea salt and a half teaspoon of raw honey if you prefer. Consume 1 to 2 servings daily, neither hot nor cold, at room temperature for optimal absorption. The deep crimson hue indicates high anthocyanin concentration. The richer the color, the stronger the active compounds. Aim for a deep ruby tone, not a faint pink. Method number 2. Morning activation ritual with citrus and ginger root. This combination, consumed specifically within the first 10 minutes after waking, has a disproportionate impact on morning circulation that earns it the second spot on this list. Morning timing is not arbitrary. Your cardiovascular system is at its most fragile in the first 60 to 90 minutes after you wake. Cortisol levels spike, blood viscosity peaks after 8 hours without fluids. Platelet stickiness, the tendency for blood cells to clump, is at its highest. This combination creates the most dangerous window of the entire day. Most circulatory emergencies in older adults, strokes, cardiac events, clotting episodes, occur between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. for precisely these reasons. Warm water consumed immediately upon waking begins restoring plasma volume and thinning blood viscosity before cortisol peaks. Adding fresh lemon juice introduces vitamin C, a direct cofactor in nitric oxide production, plus citric acid, which enhances iron absorption and supports red blood cell integrity. Freshly grated ginger delivers gingerols and shogalls, bioactive compounds with documented antiplatelet effects comparable to low-dose aspirin in certain studies, without the gastric irritation. Research in the journal Thrombosis Research demonstrated that ginger intake significantly reduced platelet aggregation in healthy adults. The effect was dose-dependent and rapid, occurring within 90 minutes. The protocol is precise. Immediately upon waking, before coffee, before breakfast, before anything else, drink 250 milliliters of warm water with the juice of half a fresh lemon and half a teaspoon of freshly grated ginger. Sip it slowly over 5 minutes. This is not a wellness fad. This is targeted vascular biochemistry using compounds your body recognizes and metabolizes efficiently. Method number 1. Nitrate-loaded water paired with controlled breathing. This is the most powerful intervention on this list, the least widely known, and the one that directly reverses the nitric oxide deficiency driving poor circulation after 50. Dietary nitrates from specific plant sources convert inside your body into nitric oxide through a two-stage process involving oral bacteria and gastric acid. Recent research reveals this conversion amplifies dramatically when paired with slow diaphragmatic breathing, specifically nasal breathing that activates your paranasal sinuses, which themselves generate nitric oxide independently. Here is the exact protocol. Dissolve 1 teaspoon of beetroot powder into a glass of room temperature water with a small pinch of sea salt. Drink it slowly over 5 minutes. Immediately afterward, complete 5 cycles of slow nasal breathing. Inhale through your nose for a count of 4. Hold for 2. Exhale through your nose for 6. This breathing rhythm stimulates sinus nitric oxide production, while the dietary nitrate pathway is activating, creating a synergistic vascular expansion effect. A study published in Hypertension found that dietary nitrate supplementation via beetroot reduced blood pressure and improved peripheral circulation within 2.5 hours in older participants. When combined with slow nasal breathing, which research shows can increase nasal nitric oxide output by up to 15 times compared to mouth breathing, the combined vascular effect is substantially more powerful than either method alone. The optimal timing is 30 minutes before physical activity or mid-afternoon when circulation naturally dips. This is when the combined nitrate breathing protocol delivers peak vasodilation. You do not need expensive products. A bag of beetroot powder costs a few dollars and lasts weeks. The breathing pattern takes 2 minutes. The measurable effect on circulation to your hands, feet, and brain appears within 30 minutes. Let me return to Robert. 5 weeks after implementing methods 4 and 2, mineral-enhanced water daily and the morning lemon ginger ritual, he returned for follow-up. He had also added roselle water 3 times weekly out of curiosity. He changed nothing else, no medications, no diet overhaul, no new exercise program. The chronically cold extremities that had plagued him for a year and a half were completely gone. His afternoon fatigue had vanished so thoroughly he had resumed coaching youth soccer. He told me he had read an entire novel in one sitting for the first time in 3 years. He said, "I drank water every single day for 18 months, and nothing improved. You changed how I drank it, and my entire body changed in 5 weeks. Why did nobody explain this to me before? That is the gap. The science exists. The research is published. But the standard 10-minute appointment does not leave room to explain the difference between drinking for volume and drinking for vascular function. That is why this video exists. Let me bring this together. 5 hydration methods ranked by circulatory impact for adults over 50. Number 5, room temperature water consumed 15 minutes before movement. Number 4, mineral restored water with sea salt or citrus daily. Number 3, roselle flower infusion, 1 to 2 servings per day at room temperature. Number 2, morning warm water with lemon and ginger within 10 minutes of waking. And number 1, beetroot water combined with slow nasal breathing 30 minutes before activity or during the afternoon energy dip. Start with whichever method feels most accessible. 1 change applied consistently beats 5 changes attempted once and abandoned. If the only thing you do after watching this video is switch from cold to room temperature water and add a pinch of sea salt, you have already shifted the functional hydration equation in your body. Which of these 5 will you implement first? Tell me in the comments right now. I read every single one. And if you know someone who drinks water faithfully, yet still battles cold hands, heavy legs, exhaustion, or brain fog, share this video with them. The solution might be this straightforward. They deserve to know it exists. Subscribe for more research-backed, honest conversations about what your body needs after 50, the information that does not fit into a rushed medical appointment, but changes everything when it reaches the right person at the right time. Take care of your circulation. It is delivering life to every cell in your body, every second of every day. Give it the correct signals, and it will respond. Disclaimer: everything presented in this video is general educational information derived from published research in vascular physiology, hydration science, and exercise medicine. It is not a substitute for individualized medical advice. If you are currently managing hypertension, kidney disease, heart failure, or any condition requiring fluid restriction or electrolyte monitoring, consult your physician before modifying your hydration habits. They understand your specific medical context. This information is a starting point for that conversation, not a replacement for it.